Okay, and we're recording. I've muted everybody. Welcome, my name is Maren, and this is going to be a slow flow, Vinyasa flow, geared at any level, but especially for beginners, maybe people who have never tried yoga or people who have done some yoga but not a lot. Obviously, any level can come into this class and still get beautiful practice from it. But I do plan to break down poses to make them accessible for everybody so that even brand new people can feel successful. If you would like to have a strap, looks like this, or a block available. Also, most people, especially beginners, are not going to have things like this at home. That's okay. You can use a regular belt, any kind of belt if you would like to try a strap. Or for a block, you can use a water bottle. Anything that is about this tall or taller, a little bit shorter. It really doesn't have to be perfect. Somewhere that you can press your hand into. Sometimes having some towels or blankets or pillows nearby can also be really helpful, especially when we get onto the floor, which is about 20 or so minutes towards the end of class. So I have my music queued up. It's under Maren Leah, Marenleah, on Spotify. Today I'm going to use 1 hour Flow 19 because somebody asked if they could have pop music for the practice today, and I am all for any type of music. I think that there's a place for any type of music. Some people like instrumental. I'm not playing it through the Zoom. That way you can pick your own music. If you'd prefer to have instrumental, I have a lot of instrumental playlists on here, so feel free to look around. Also, you can put on the music channel on TV or on the radio or whatever and just do you. So there's never any specific type of music that you have to listen to do yoga. When I first started, I was appalled when somebody played music with words during yoga. Appalled. Like, I couldn't believe it. But now, after doing a lot of power yoga and faster flows to pop music, now I really, especially for a faster moving class, I love that. This is not going to be fast moving, but sometimes it's kind of nice to hear a song that you like and maybe start to dance a little bit. We're just going to have fun, not take anything too seriously. It's just yoga. So with that, let's count down from 3 if you wanted to have my playlist. I'm going to pause after 1 and then we press play. 3, 2, 1, press play. Now really quickly before we forget, if at any point you need to take a child's pose, you do that. If you don't want to do a pose, don't do it. This is your practice. So I urge you to try everything and try not to be afraid, maybe of a pose that seems scary. But in general, even if you just sat on your mat and you breathed for the entire hour, you will still get a beautiful benefit from this class. So let's begin in child's pose. Knees out wide, big toes to touch in the back, and then walk your hands away from you as you sit your hips down and back, and let your chest drop to the floor, your forehead comes down. If this is too much on your shoulders or maybe in your hips, you can bring your knees together and then bring your forehead down. Your hands can also come back behind you towards your heels and let your shoulders fall. This gives extra support in the back, in the hips. So you do what works best for you right here. And just start to settle in. Maybe you close your eyes. Just start to become in tune with your body, where your mind is today. And without changing it, just notice your breath. There is a saying in Sanskrit that says, Lokah Samastah Sokhino Bhavantu. And what that means is, may all living things be happy and free. That's it. It's pretty simple. That means all people, all living beings, all animals deserve freedom, deserve happiness. So maybe you just take a quick scan of your life. Notice if there's something holding you back from that happiness, that freedom. Maybe think about what you can change to get there. Because life is short. And you deserve everything. Start to feel your breath deepen. Feel your inhales. Lift your back up slightly as it expands out towards the four corners of this room. And then feel your exhales drop your chest closer to the floor. Melt your bones down towards the mat. Let's take a few deep, full breaths together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Still in child's pose. One more, just like that. Inhale deeply through your nose. Hold it at the top. And open your mouth, let it go. Now gently close your lips. Inhale deeply through your nose. Feel your chest lift, then your ribs expand, then your belly expand. And then close your lips gently and then feel your belly get smaller as the air comes through your nose. Your chest, your ribs start to get smaller. This is Ujjayi Pranayama breath, so take that on your own. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through your nose, almost like there's a balloon inside of you. And when you inhale, that balloon gets bigger, everything expands. When you exhale, everything gets smaller. This Ujjayi Pranayama breath is the important part of yoga. It builds heat in our bodies from the inside out. But it brings us back to this space also when our mind starts to wander, when we start to think about shopping lists or if something needs to get cleaned in the room, whatever it is. So when you notice it, gently guide yourself back to the breath and refocus back on your insides, on the breath, on every sensation in your body. From child's pose, with your next inhale, walk your hands further away from you, so much so that your forearms lift. With your exhale, walk your hands to the right. Plant your left palm on top of your right palm and press your left hip down and back so you're getting a side stretch here, that left side body. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, walk your hands to the left. Right palm plants on top of your left palm. Press down gently in your right hip. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, walk your hands and come up onto all fours. So you can tuck your toes here for some extra stability. Maybe you untuck the tops of your feet, come down. You do what's best for you here. With your inhale, drop your belly, spread your chest, look up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, arch your back, look up. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Now come to a neutral spine, a flat back. Tuck your toes under right here. With your inhale, lift your knees up so you're turning your belly on. Exhale through your nose. Inhale, lift your hips up and back right into downward facing dog. Don't forget that Ujjayi Pranayama breath. You're in an inverted V shape. So it's possible that you're up high on your toes because of the tension in your hamstrings. That's okay. Start to walk out your feet one at a time. It's okay if your heels don't touch the mat, but you're feeling the lengthening in the backs of your legs. Every inhale, your tailbone is tilting up towards the ceiling. Every exhale, your chest presses a little bit closer to your thighs. Then you'll really feel that in the back of your legs. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, let your heels drop down towards the mat. Inhale, come up high on your toes, elongating your breath. Exhale, heels down towards the mat. Inhale, come up high on those toes. With your exhale, look between your hands and just tiptoe your way up to the top of your mat. Maybe about halfway towards the top of your mat. Your hands can walk back towards your feet. You can have a deep bend in your knees here. Grab your elbows, start to sway side to side. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. There's no rush, know where you have to be. Shake it yes again. You have to end on a positive note there. And deep, full breaths as you sway side to side. This is an inversion. So anytime your head is below your heart, it's an inversion. You don't have to be a handstander or a headstander or somebody on their elbows, whatever, in order to get the benefits of an inversion. So all the fresh blood is rushing to your head. It's great for if you're having a bad day. If you're feeling a little down in the dumps, try an inversion. They really help. I have my kids do them. Super helpful. Just a little bit of a different perspective sometimes, right? With your next exhale, let your hands come down to the floor and come to stillness. Inhale, halfway lift. Your hands come to your thighs or your shins, and you're pressing your spine. You're elongating it. So the crown of your head is going further away from you as your tailbone is going in the opposite direction. Exhale, fold down. You can still keep that deep bend in your knees. Try not to lock out your knees. Inhale, slowly roll up to standing. And then let's just do a couple of shoulder rolls here. So you squeeze your elbows up towards your ears, and then exhale, release them down. One more, just like that. Inhale, squeeze. And then exhale, roll them back and down. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Your feet are still about 2 fist distance apart. That's hip distance. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes or soften your gaze. This is where we set our intention for this beautiful practice. What brought you here today? What made you want to try yoga, take a yoga class? There's a reason. Whatever that reason is, that's your reason. Now let's turn that into a positive affirmation or a mantra. Maybe it's, I am enough. Or, I feel calm. Whatever it is that you pick, it is yours. Just start saying that to yourself over and over again. And when you start to lose your way, or maybe there's some negative self-talk, if you are no longer free in the moment, just like Lokah Samastah Sokhino Bhavantu, just like those free animals, free humans, if you get trapped in your head, use this mantra, this positive affirmation to come back to your body, come back to this space. Let's take one deep, full breath together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. Breathing it into reality. Open your eyes gently if they were closed. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Now with your exhale, bring your right hand to your right hip and take a side bend. So you're reaching your left arm overhead to the right, opening up your chest towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back to center, both arms lift. And then exhale, your left hand comes to your left hip, side bend to the left. Again, turning your chest upwards, pushing down gently in your right foot. Inhale, come back to center and release your hands back behind you. Now fingertips can face down or up. One more inhale, create length. So like strings are pulling the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And then gentle exhale as you lean back. You don't have to go far. So your hands are supporting you. You're pressing your hips forward. Inhale, slowly lift back up. Exhale, forward fold as your hands trace the backs of your legs. Remember, your knees can be bent here. You do you. Inhale, halfway lift. Once again, we're taking that half lift, preparing the spine. Exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor, and then step back to a high plank. So 1 foot at a time comes back. You're squeezing your belly in. Notice if your butt is up high, try to squeeze everything in like you're flat as a board. Your shoulders are over your wrists, and you're pushing your palms down so much that that spot in between your shoulder blades is pushing up towards the ceiling. Now drop your knees down with your exhale. Keep your toes tucked, and then take a micro bend with your elbows. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift your knees back up. Beautiful. We're learning chaturanga here. Exhale, your knees come down again. Now we're not in tabletop, so make sure your hips are forward. And then bend your elbows a little bit more of a chaturanga. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift your knees. I know this is hard. Remember, discomfort is temporary. You're getting stronger. Exhale, knees come down. This time, bring your elbows in towards your sides and let your chest come to a hover. Hold it. And now release down onto your belly. Beautiful. Untuck your toes. The tops of your feet are down towards the floor. They're pressing down. Walk your hands in beside your ribs. With your inhale, peel your chest up. Keep a deep bend in your elbows here and look up. Exhale, forehead comes down. One more, just like that. Inhale, your fingertips are facing the front of the mat. Your shoulders are not up by your ears, so you're pulling your shoulder blades down and back. Look up. Exhale, forehead comes down. Beautiful. Last one. This time, maybe you start to straighten your arms just a little bit more. Inhale, lift your chest. You can keep your thighs on the floor, or if you want to try upward facing dog, you're pressing the tops of your feet into the floor, igniting your legs so they really turn on and your thighs lift. Look up. Beautiful. Exhale, let your knees come down, tuck your toes under, sit your hips back, and then lift them up towards the sky, right into downward facing dog. Deep, full breaths right here. Let go of everything. In and out through your nose. Every downward dog, think of as a fresh start. We're basically starting again. It's your reset button. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. You can step, walk, or jump up to the top of your mat now. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing. Your head comes up last. You can have a deep bend in your knees. Reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Maybe you feel some cracking. Inhale, come back to center. This time, goalpost your arms and take a baby back bend. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, forward fold as your hands pass through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to a high plank. Now, you can drop your knees down if you want the extra support, or keep them lifted. Exhale, bend your elbows in towards your body. Come to a hover, chaturanga. Inhale, scoop your chest through. The tops of your feet come down, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So the purpose of Sun A, that's this part right here, is to warm up the spine. Deep, full breaths. Now the purpose of Sun B, which we are about to do, is to warm up the hips. So from downward facing dog, with your inhale, lift your right heel up towards the sky. It doesn't have to go far. You just want to feel it in the back of your left leg. You're feeling your right glute engaged. And think of the energy from your back heel, your right heel, shooting all the way straight down your spine into your fingertips and shooting right out into the mat. So you have a long line of energy. Exhale, knee in towards your nose. Hold it there for a moment. And then gently step your foot between your hands. Now you might need to use your hand to get there. So you can reach down, grab your foot and bring it to where it needs to go. That's okay. You get to do you. Beautiful. Now with your inhale, dial your back heel down towards the mat. So your left toes are pointed towards the long edge of your mat to the left. And then inhale, reach your arms up. So your back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Your right toes are pointing towards the front of the mat and your arms are reaching. Warrior one. So there's a deep bend in your front knee. You feel your left hip pressing forward as your right hip is pulling back. That actually squares your hips towards the front of the room. If you hear a teacher say square your hips, that's what they mean. And truthfully, it doesn't matter what it looks like. So if they're looking for your hips to be even, that is not great. What really matters is you feeling the sensation here, because everybody's bones are different. So remember, none of this matters what you look like. As long as you feel this in your left psoas, that's your left hip muscles. And then notice if your knee is far beyond your heel. You don't want that. So you want it stacked. With your exhale, bring your arms to a T. Your hips turn towards the left so they open up right into warrior two. Your back foot stays the same and you're pressing down into the pinky side of your back foot. So you're engaging your back leg. And notice if you're hinging forward here. So a lot of people do warrior two like this. Actually, you want to pull it back. Your shoulders stacked directly above your hips. And like there's a tug of war happening between your fingertips. Now with your inhale, straighten that front leg. Your left arm drops back behind you, down your leg, and your right fingertips reach up. So you're getting a side bend. Right here, you're opening up your right side body. Side body is the spot between your right hip and your right armpit. So lean back, open up. Now with your exhale, bend back into your front knee and cartwheel your hands down to frame out your right foot. You come up high on your back toes. Now step your right foot back to meet your left, and we'll go through the vinyasa again. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now going forward, if you've had too many vinyasas, that little last part there, you can just meet us in downward facing dog. You never have to take them. Every single thing I'm doing is optional. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee in towards your nose. Hold it and then step it through. You're dialing your back heel down. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up, right in that warrior one again. So again, you're pushing down into the pinky side of your back foot. Your chest is lifted and maybe your fingers, your pinky fingers are turned inwards just a little bit. That turns on your arms so that your arms become an active part of this pose. Chest is lifted. One more inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Remember, your hips turn to the right slightly. You're opening up your arms to a T and you're looking over your left middle finger. You're not leaning forward or leaning back. Your hips directly under your shoulders. Inhale, your right arm comes down your back leg. Left arm reaches up, look up. Deep, full breaths right here, opening up your left side body. Remember, you can always adjust your feet to what feels good for you. One more inhale, reach. Exhale, bend back into your front knee. Bring your hands down to the floor. You come up on your back toes. And then step your left foot back, vinyasa, or right to downward dog. Beautiful. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and walk or jump up to the top of your mat again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now bend your knees and then inhale, reach your arms up, look up, chair pose. So all your weight is back towards your heels. This is Utkatasana, which actually means fierce. So all your weight is back here and you can lift up all 10 toes and look down, make sure you can see them. So if you can't see them, it means your knees are actually shooting forward. You want to pull them back and sit down low like there's a little chair. Now with your exhale, right fingertips drop down and back, chair twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left fingertips go down and back, taking a twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold as you straighten your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down. Step or jump back, vinyasa. Beautiful. One more time through that sun B. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee in towards your nose, hold it, and then step it through. Inhale, warrior one. One breath, one movement. So elongate your breath. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse triangle. Right fingertips reach up like you're high-fiving the back wall. Exhale, hands come down. Step your right foot back, right to down dog, or take a vinyasa if you'd like. Come back to your breath. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose, step it through. Back heel dials down. Inhale, arms reach up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse triangle, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, hands come down to the floor, step it back, meet in down dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up, chair pose. Exhale, chair twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, chair twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands come down. Meet in downward facing dog. Let your knees drop down towards the floor. Untuck your toes. Sit your hips back. Just take a child's pose for a moment. Reconnect to your deep, full breaths. Where is your mind? Have you gotten caught in a negative self-talk loop? Where can you release? Where can you be more free? Because if you're saying not nice things to yourself, are you really free? Think about that for a moment. Start to walk your hands in. Come up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing. Reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, Samastitihi. Now with your next inhale, you're gonna bring your weight into your left foot. So really root down your left foot into the mat, pressing down in all four corners of that foot, and come up on your right toes. When you're ready, you're gonna bring your weight completely off your right foot and step your foot all the way back to the back of your mat and come up high on your back toes. Awesome. So this time your left leg is forward. And then reach your arms up. So it's a little bit different. Last time when we did warrior one, our heel was down. This is crescent lunge. So we're coming up high on the back toes. Deep bend in your front knee, but you should still feel that elongating sensation in your right stomach muscles down your psoas to your right thigh. Deep, full breaths right here. Now we're going to come into a big balancing pose here, but you have this. And guess what? If you fall out of it, you come right back into it, right? Because we are yogis and we are strong. So start to bring your weight back into your left foot. We're going to launch up off of our back leg and bring your right knee in towards your chest. It could take a couple of steps, right? And then once you get there, bring your right knee in towards your chest. We're going to bring your right arm under your left arm. Coming into eagle pose, your right knee comes over your left knee. Now it doesn't have to hook all the way. So we can just hook like this. It could do a double, you can do a double bind there where your foot wraps around. And then bring your elbows up. So you're really pressing your hands away from you and far up. Your elbows are almost like right across from your face. So you really get that shoulder expansion. And then a deep bend in your left knee. Sink your butt down really low. I know it's hard. Deep, full, complete breaths. One more inhale. One more exhale. Get a little lower. Inhale, unravel that top leg. Step that leg all the way back to the back of your mat again. And dial your back heel down. Now reach over with your left hand. So you unravel your arms. Reach over with your right hand. Grab your left wrist. And then straighten your front leg into sky archer. Very similar to reverse triangle. You're opening up your left side body. Think about kicking your right hip out just a little bit so you can really get into that spot. Think about your ribs almost separating here. One more inhale. Gaze is lifted, drishti. Exhale, bring your arms to a T. And then start to hinge forward like somebody's pulling on your left fingertips. Try not to lock out that knee. I do that all the time. Try not to lock that out. And let your left fingertips drop down as your right fingertips reach up. Now, if you can or you want to let your hand come down to the floor, that's great. As long as you're not losing the integrity of your chest turning upwards towards the ceiling. So your right shoulder is stacked upon your left shoulder. This is the perfect spot for a block. So you can always come off the mat if you have that block. Here, the block brings the floor to you. Again, a water bottle, anything, a box. You can use that. And sometimes even the most advanced practitioner likes to use a block to open up just a little bit more. You can get in a little bit deeper sometimes. So you do you right here. There's never any shame in modifications or using the block. Using any kind of item that can help you. Beautiful. Now, bring that lower belly up and in. So you're tensing your belly. Take a little bend in your front knee and then lift back up. Turn both sets of toes out just a little bit and reach your arms up right into star pose. Chest is lifted. Gaze is lifted. That's the drishti, is the gaze. Deep full breaths. Maybe you close your eyes. Focus on that one spot, maybe in between your eyebrows. Your third eye, your intuition. What does that feel like right there? One more inhale. Now with your exhale, bring your arms to a T and start to hinge forward. Let your hands come down to the floor. We're coming into a wide leg downward dog. So you're walking your hands away from you and letting your chest drop down towards the floor. Now notice what happens with the weight in your feet. Is your weight coming up towards your toes? Is your weight back towards your heels? There's no right or wrong way here. You can just play around, see what feels good. Deep, full Ujjayi breathing in through the nose. Maybe you count to 4. Hold it at the top and then exhale to the count of 4. You can even think of your breath like an infinity sign. That's a great meditative tool. So you think about your inhales becoming your exhales almost seamlessly. And then your exhales becoming your inhales almost imperceptibly. You can't even feel the switch. Deep, full breaths. Beautiful. Walk your hands in underneath your shoulders and then walk them to the right. So now your right foot is in front and you're turning your body to the back of your mat. Let your back knee come all the way down. Now you can keep your back toes tucked if you would like. Inhale, reach your arms up. We're in low lunge here. So it's so similar to that crescent lunge, but you get more support. You can put something under your knee, like a towel or a blanket or a pillow if your knee feels uncomfortable. Sometimes people like to tuck their toes because they say it takes pressure off their knee. It actually feels worse for me. So I like untucking because something in the bone presses into the mat when I tuck my toes. Everybody's biology is different, though. You do you. And again, you're pulling your right hip back, pressing your left hip forward, and then think of a little back bend here. Your chest is lifted. One more. Inhale. Exhale, your hands come down to the floor, and then sit your hips back into half splits. So your right leg straightens. Don't let the sound of split get you scared here. You don't have to go far. You can just go until you feel it in the back of your right leg. So some people like to sit their hips all the way back, but that might be too much on your left knee. You can keep your hips lifted. See how my left hip is directly above my left knee? And then fold to any degree you want, but your right toes are pointed up. That engages the back of your leg here. And then think maybe micro bend in your right knee as you fold. Beautiful. Start to walk your hands forward. Bring weight back into your right foot. Tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee. Now, if you don't want to, you can keep your back knee down. So your left palm is planted. And then with your inhale, reach your right arm up, dragonfly twist. Now notice how your hips feel. Are they sagging low? Try to keep everything straight and squeezed in. And then think about leaning back like there's a wall behind you. And you're stacking your whole right arm directly on top of your left arm. Now notice if you're dumping all the weight in your left hand, maybe you come up on your fingertips to give yourself a little bit of height, a little more leverage to open up, and then a little bit more engagement in your belly. One more inhale, reach. Exhale, right hand comes down, and step your left foot up to the top to meet your right foot. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing, reach your arms up, look up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Samastitihi. Take a moment, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just become present again. Beautiful. Flutter open your eyes if they were closed. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And then exhale, this time swan dive. So your arms come out towards the sides and you fold with a flat back all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your hands come down. This time your right foot stays in front and you're stepping your left foot back to the back of your mat. Come up high on your back toes. And then inhale, reach your arms up. We're back in that crescent lunge. So again, deep bend in your front knee. You're feeling the lengthening in your left psoas. Fingertips are reaching, chest is lifting. Maybe you even close your eyes where you can lift your drishti, your gaze up high. Notice what that does for your balance. Beautiful. One more inhale. Now with your exhale, remember, we're going to step that back foot in. It could take a couple of steps, and you're going to bring your left knee in towards your chest. And then start to bend deeply in your right knee as you wrap your left leg over your right leg. It doesn't matter how far. Your left arm comes under your right arm. Palms press. Now if this is too much on your shoulders, just grab your shoulders like this. And then sink down really low. Deep, full breaths. Focus on that breath. Picture your breath going in and going out. Inhale, start to straighten your front leg. Lift your left knee up. And now swing it back behind you. Dial your back heel down. Release your hands. With your left hand, grab your right wrist and straighten your front leg right into sky archer. Opening up your right side body. Gaze is lifted. Micro bend in your right knee. Your left toes are still pointed directly in front of you towards what is the back of your mat. Left toes are about 45. And then exhale, bring your arms to a T. Start to hinge forward like somebody's pulling your right fingertips right into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Left fingertips are reaching. Any variation you wanted to do with that right hand, go for it. Again, gaze is lifted again. There's a reason we look up so often in yoga. We are connecting to the universe, connecting to each other, connecting to our own breath. in our own bodies. That's what yoga means, yoking, connection. Beautiful. Next, inhale, turn your toes a little bit out, reach up, star pose. Chest is lifting, fingertips are reaching like they're on fire. You're opening up your chest towards the universe. And then exhale, arms down to a T, start to hinge forward again, right? This time, instead of wide leg downward dog, walk your hands in. And then walk your hands between your legs. They don't have to go far, but you're getting that deep hamstring stretch here, right into a wide leg forward fold. For those of you who have headstand in your practice, you can always take that right now. For everybody else, just stay right where you are. This is enough. Again, getting that fresh blood to your brain. Notice if something is holding on or gripping in your neck or shoulders, try to release it. And then walk your hands forward, plant them underneath your shoulders. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. You're gonna walk your hands to the left this time and bend into your left knee. Your hands frame your left foot and you come up high in your back toes and then let your back knee come down. Remember, toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale, low lunge. Arms are lifting. Left hip is pulling back. Right hip is pulling forward. Notice if your knee is coming too far over your ankle, and then just readjust that front foot. Deep, full breaths. Maybe a little back bend here. Where can you soften? One more inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the floor and sit your hips back to that half split. Again, getting into the back of your left leg. Anytime we hold our poses, these are 5 breaths each or so. Think about your blood vessels like a garden hose, especially right here with this flexion in your hip. When you kink it, it stops the blood flow, it stops the water. But when you release it after a pose, feel the blood, the nutrients rushing in towards your big joints, especially your hips, your shoulders. Beautiful. Start to walk your hands forward. Bring weight back into your left foot. Right palm plants. Remember, you can keep your back knee down if you'd like. And then inhale, your left fingertips reach up. So your back toes can be tucked, that knee can be down, or maybe you lift your back knee up. Again, you can come up high on your right fingertips. Just think about turning your chest upwards towards the ceiling. One more inhale. Exhale, your left hand comes down and step your back foot up to meet your front foot at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to standing, reach your arms up, look up. And exhale, hands come to heart center, Samastitihi. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your hands come down, step right back to downward facing dog. Take a few deep, full breaths right here. Now let your knees come down to the floor. Sit your hips to the side and swing your legs out in front of you. Beautiful. Inhale, reach your arms up. You might need to readjust back onto the mat. And then exhale, use your core and slowly roll back onto your back. Once you get there, your palms plant down. Walk your feet in so your knees are pointed up towards the ceiling. With your inhale, pressing your palms into the floor, pressing your feet, lift your hips up. Deep, full breaths. If you want to shimmy your shoulders under your back and interlace your fingers together, you can. This is called bridge pose. Squeeze your thighs together just a little bit. So notice if they're open up wide and try to pull them in. One more inhale. And exhale, roll down onto your belly. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And now release your left leg down onto the mat. So you're squeezing your right knee in. And then using your left hand, guide your knee across your body. Open up your right arm and turn your head towards the right. Coming into supine twist. Now this is the perfect spot if you wanted to put a block under your right knee, if this is too much on your hip, or you can even put a pillow in between your legs. So you do what works for you in this twist. Every day we have to twist our spines, right and twist left. We have to take a side bend right, side bend left, and then a forward fold and a backward bend. They don't have to be far, but just for spine health, those 6 different movements create blood flow, create a very healthy spine, great for as we age. You might need to shimmy your left hip to stack under your right hip here. So notice how you feel. You want to feel a deep stretch in your right hip, but you don't want to feel pinching pain. And then close your eyes, let your shoulders melt down towards the floor. Where can you soften? Are there muscles holding on, not letting go? Use your breath to let it all go so you can completely surrender. And you can let go of your Ujjayi breath here, just coming into deep, full breaths in, deep, full breaths out. Inhale, bring your right knee back in towards your chest. You roll onto your back. Maybe you take some circles with your ankle. And then exhale, release it down. Just for a moment, notice how different your right hip feels from your left hip. With your next inhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then using your right hand, guide it across your body. Coming into that supine twist, you can use any kind of object you'd like to get into a comfortable twist here. Letting your left shoulder melt down towards the floor. And it's okay if this knee doesn't touch the floor. For most people, it won't. So you can put something right under here for some support if you'd like. And breathe. I like to think of my organs like sponges. So when we twist, we're wringing out old blood. And when we release, new blood comes in and fills it up. Twists like this are great for digestion as well as spine health. Inhale, bring your left knee in. Give it a squeeze towards your armpit. Take some circles with your ankle. Maybe you hear some cracks. That's good. It's okay. And exhale, release it down. Now bring the bottoms of your feet together, your knees out wide. This is another great pose if you have blocks or towels you want to bring underneath your knees. We're trying to get a deep hip opening here, but you're just using gravity. Open up your arms to your sides, close your eyes, and start to settle in. It's really easy to hold on here, to not let your knees completely fall to the sides. We hold a lot of tension in our hips, so it's important that we take hip openers to try to release that tension. We're taught in yoga teacher training that people cry a lot during hip openers. That's because we are letting go of so much that we're holding on to. Using your hands, pull your knees in to each other, and then bring your knees back in towards your chest. Now reach down with your hands and grab the outsides of your feet. Your knees come towards your armpits and just rock side to side, happy baby. So the one we did right before this was Supta Baddha Konasana, a great hip opener, sometimes uncomfortable, that's okay. In yoga, we do things that are uncomfortable, but what that does is it teaches us to hold space, to be there, even though things feel uncomfortable, to not need to come out of them, to learn how to have a non-reactive mind, a peaceful mind, even despite discomfort. And in that way, when we're off the mat, we can stay that calm. Maybe when our hearts are beating fast, we're unhappy, things feel stressful, we can come back to our breath and release it. When you're ready, let go of your feet. Bring your feet down to the mat. Walk them out away from you, arms away from your body, coming into Shavasana. So your palms can face up if you need a little bit of energy or just receive the energy from the universe. If you need grounding, maybe you place your palms down. And let your toes flop to the sides. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. And use this time to let your body digest, receive every single thing we just did. It's just pure rest. I will guide you out of Shavasana when it's time. slowly start to bring some awareness back into the room. And before moving, just realize how you feel. Notice your breath start to deepen. How different do you feel from when you walked in? What feels more released? Maybe what feels a little tighter? Just notice it without judgment. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, roll out your wrists, your ankles. Feel the weight of your body pressing down towards the floor. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, point your toes towards the front of your mat. Take a full body stretch. Exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a hug, a real hug. Squeeze this moment of gratitude because you showed up today. You're here, aren't you? And you could have been a million other places, but you chose to be here for you. When you're ready, roll on to your right or your left side. Whatever side you need here is the side of new beginnings, of recommitting to Lokah Samastah Sokhino Bhavantu. May all living things be happy and free. And that goes for you. Notice where you're afraid, where you're holding on to the past or something that is not serving you. Where can you let go? Where can you release and be free? Using your hands, push your way up to a comfortable seat. Eyes stay closed or your gaze softened. Hands come to heart center. Let's take a deep, full breath together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. One more, just like that. Inhale deeply through your nose. And then open your mouth and just let it out. Lokah Samastah Sokhino Bhavantu. May all living things be happy and free. You are loved, you are brave, and you are enough. The love and light within me honors and respects the love and light within you. And it is with this love and light that we are all, each one of us, connected. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. If you have any questions or concerns, I'll stick around on the Zoom for after. And I'm here if you would like to know anything or want to learn more or concerned about a certain pose, I'm here. So I'm going to stop the recording.